Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today we're going to be doing the daily reading for Wednesday, December 30th, 2020. Today is the day that's ruled by the second chakra and guided by universal fire. And it was quite an intense full moon yesterday. I was not able to be on here. I had a pretty intense experience of my own. A lot of releasing going on. Possibly it felt like a lot of activating at the same time. Just a lot of really the kind of energy that I almost expected on 12/21 that I didn't personally really experience. Just coming through during that full moon, it felt very much like a portal to me, and it was incredibly intense. And so I had my own personal journey to go through yesterday, my own process of releasing and acclimating and sort of recalibrating and resetting myself. It was very, very intense, and we are still feeling those energies today. And so, right, because it's not just the day of that we experience these things, it's like a wave. And so the wave builds up, we experience it, and then we continue to ride it for a little while. And so we will be continuing to feel these energies over the next few days. But today's galactic signature is the yellow electric warrior. And so the yellow warrior energy is a really fun energy. It's the energy of questioning, intelligence, and fearlessness. And so it's all about questioning our reality, questioning our own perceptions, questioning our own beliefs, questioning our fears, questioning and confronting our fears so that we can move through them, so that we can transcend them. It's that utilizing our intelligence in order to gain information, in order to gain clarity, and in order to then be able to enact our will in a more powerful way. This is an energy that's very much about enacting the will and utilizing that, walking through, moving through the fears, understanding that courage is not a lack of fear. It is the ability to move through that fear anyway. And so when we talk about fearlessness, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about not allowing our fears to cripple us, to move through and walk through that energy and to really confront those fears, because wherever we have a fear, there is something really beautiful on the other side of it. If we are willing to look at it and if we are willing to move through it, there are some incredible rewards that we can possess on the other side of that we can experience on the other side of that fear. So really understanding our fears today, working with our fears, utilizing our fears as a chance to grow more, to expand, to understand ourselves and our reality even more. And there's a line in here that I really like, and I think I read this to you guys last time. It says, "You are an agent of cosmic forces. Be at home in the cosmic ? Integrate the three forces of mind, will, and spirit to pick up the staff of galactic empowerment." And so this is the energy that we're in today. We're also we have the tone, the electric tone today, which is all about activating, bonding, and service. And so it's this energy when two become three and all of the possibilities that creates, the opportunity for possibility. And it's very much about understanding that as we are not alone in this universe, everyone and everything around us is affected by us and wanting to affect that reality, right? This oneness that we are a part of, wanting to affect that in a positive way. And so doing that through service, through being available to another, through helping another, and understanding that as we help the other, we help the self. And so that energy of service coming through very, very strongly as well. And what greater service is there that we can do than by becoming fearless, by allowing ourselves to gather information, to share information, to question, and to, through the very act of questioning, enhance our understanding, open our minds, open up possibility, right? And then walk through any fears that come up in that process to become more empowered versions of ourselves. As we become more empowered versions of ourselves, the entire collective gains more empowerment because we are so connected. The affirmation for today is, I activate in order to question, bonding fearlessness. I seal the output of intelligence with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of universal fire. And so for the astrology today, we do have where we still have the alignments from yesterday going on. Some of them are moving out of out of orbit here a little bit, but we're still feeling that energy. So if you guys didn't check out the full moon in Cancer video, I absolutely suggest that you do. It is a very powerful video, and it really helps to explain the magnitude of the energies that we are still working with today. So if you haven't, definitely check that out. We do have the moon and the sun moving out of opposition with each other. So that's lightening up. Some of this energy is lightening up a little bit, but like I said, we're still feeling it. We have the moon now opposing Mercury. And so the moon is in Cancer currently still. It was in Cancer yesterday. It continues to be in Cancer today. So it's that highly emotional energy, that highly intuitive, highly emotional energy. We're still experiencing that emotional detox. We are with Mercury and Capricorn. This is a very stable mental energy that we are in. And so we may feel a bit at odds with our emotional energy and our mental energy, and what that is calling us to do. Capricorn is very strategic. It's very logical. It's very much focused on what needs to be accomplished and how that can best be done. And so our minds are very much in that frame, in that state right now, where we're understanding what needs to be done. We're understanding our responsibilities, right? And not just when we talk about responsibilities, even more than our responsibilities on the outside, it's like our responsibilities to ourselves right now, right? Because we still have a very loose conjunction going on. It's 6 degrees apart now with the sun and Mercury, right? And so it's a lot of it is our responsibility to ourselves. And that may be at odds with our emotions and what we're feeling. But we're really being asked to balance that out and to look at that and to honor and understand our feelings, but not to let our feelings about things get in the way of doing what it is that needs to be done. There's a very strong energy of that. Like, purge that, release that, but don't allow that to own you anymore. Don't drown in your emotions. Allow them to guide you, right? All of this, we say the same thing about everything, right? We don't want to drown in our mental activity and allow that to own us. And in the same way, we don't want to drown in our emotions either. We want to use each of them, to weigh them, to balance them, and to act from that balanced place. And so that's what we're still really seeking to do and really learning to do right now. We have a lot of conversation going on with Neptune today. We have Mercury in a sextile to Neptune. We have Venus still squaring Neptune. The moon is trining Neptune. So heavy Neptunian energy coming through. And so this is an energy where we want to be careful that we're not falling into idealism. We're not falling into escapism. We're not allowing our vision to sort of be clouded and that illusion to come in, but we are utilizing it instead to access our higher mind and really allow that higher spiritual understanding to guide us. We want to really be able to tap in to that aspect of ourselves, to our spiritual connection, and allow that spiritual connection and that intuition to guide us as we work through this balance of the emotions and the mind, as we go through forward and sort of move in that fearless way through our lives, tackling these big fears, these big questions, right? We utilize that Neptunian energy to connect us to our higher selves and also to connect us to the higher spiritual consciousness, right? And to that unity consciousness, and allow that to be a guide for us as we sort of navigate things today. That's the energy. That's the way that we want to utilize Neptune in a beneficial fashion. We also have a lot of empowering energy coming through. We still have that T-square going on that we talk about in the full moon in Cancer video, with Venus and the South Node opposing the True Node, with Neptune once again as that focalizer, as the focal planet in that T-square, right? And so we have those energies going on. We also have Venus now in a trine to Eris, which is still loosely conjunct Mars. And so this is very much an empowering energy. As far as the feminine goes, the feminine side of our essence, we all have one. As far as us really stepping up, and this is sort of whatever we've been shown as far as this T-square goes, as far as our relationships go, as far as our ability to love ourselves and step up and stand up for ourselves goes, this trine here that we're having with Eris and Mars is really helping us to step into our empowerment around that. Whatever we may have been shown over the past few days regarding these issues, we're now really getting that extra boost to help us to take action around and to feel really empowered and to feel really good about that. Whatever fears we have, right? Utilizing this yellow warrior energy, whatever fears we have regarding these things, we're able to walk through them a little bit easier today. And to really trust, right? To trust that there is hope on the other side of that. There is empowerment. There is something positive that we are going to gain from this. And so I really like that energy for us today. Yeah. It's an energy, today's a day where, my eyes immediately fell on this square that we have between Jupiter and Uranus. So it's a day where things may feel, there may be a little bit of unpredictable energy. This is really, it's looking at our faith and our expansion and really allowing ourselves to, even if it feels challenging, allowing ourselves to expand, right? We're really being called to do that. We're really being asked to do that. And we're being asked to be very unconventional in the way it is that we allow ourselves to expand, that we allow ourselves to grow. The ways that we approach our faith, the ways that we approach our relationships and our situations, just really thinking outside the box, doing things in a way that they haven't been done before is really an energy. We still have Saturn and Jupiter conjunct in the sign of Aquarius, now at 1 degree of Aquarius, right? And that's also that energy of that. We're really being asked to step outside the box, to think differently, to allow ourselves, our vision to expand, to approach situations in new ways. And how we act this out in our own personal lives is preparing us for how the collective needs to act this out. That's what the Age of Aquarius is all about. It's about doing things the way they haven't been done. So first we learn how to do this in our personal lives, and then we get to expand upon that and bring that out into the collective reality as well. So that's really beautiful energy that we have going on, and I think that that's a huge focal point and a huge thing that we're being asked to focus on right now. All right, I'm gonna pull a Beyond Lemuria card here. Clear. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll do some tarot this morning, see what the tarot has to say. So December 30th, 2020, we have the last couple days of the month here. We have 1/1 coming up, and I will probably do a video on that, on the 1/1 portal. I'm really feeling it as just this energy of us really stepping into ourselves and stepping into a timeline as far as our empowerment goes, as far as our ability to take the lead in our own lives, and receiving some little gifts from the universe to assist us in that process. So these next few days and how we handle them are really setting us up to embrace that energy. So we're really being asked to step up, to stand up, mostly for ourselves, right? And to put into practice the things that we've learned, the lessons from 2020. We really want to be moving into 2021, if at all possible, sort of with a greater understanding and embracing of everything that we have learned, especially in the second half of 2020, surrounding our empowerment, our ability to show up in our lives, both for those around us and for ourselves. And so the cards coming out here are Manifest Ya. So this is all about manifesting, creating your reality. Awakened Awareness. Ooh, I like that. I haven't seen that one before. And Internal Explorer. Yeah. So, how we manifest, how we create our reality, right? Is very much, we want to create and we want to manifest from this place of awakened awareness. We are in this process as we explore internally, as we've been sort of on this deep tour of our shadow, right, throughout 2020. And so we've done a lot of internal exploration, or we've been asked to, we've been invited to, and if we have, we are arriving at a new state of awakened awareness. This is where we have, like, we can't change anything unless we're aware that it exists. Unless we're aware that there is something that needs adjusting, we're not going to make those adjustments. And so it's this level of this deeper level of awareness that we've come into around ourselves, around our purpose, around our healing, around our wounds, right? And we've really felt this with this full moon. It's really really push that energy out there. So we have this new sense of awareness. And because this awareness is has got, like, it's been such a deep process. We've understood such deep fundamental things. It has brought us to a new state of awakening. And now it's like, what do we do with that? How do we manifest? How do we create from that point of awakened awareness? And are we willing to continue to do the internal exploration that's necessary to become more and more awakened and more aware? Once we are in this state of awakened awareness, where it's not just that we see the things, right? It's not just that we're aware of something. It's that we are then able to see how that something is impacting our lives and how it is that we can step up and change it. And if any of you are in this place where you are aware, but you're not quite at that awakened place where you're seeing how to change it and ready to take the action necessary to do so, please reach out to me. I would love to assist you with that. There's a lot of different things that we can do to work through this energy and to assist in that process, which then helps to create and manifest what it is that you are wanting and desiring. All right. And this is a process. I have been very much in this process myself. This past week or so has been very intense as far as that goes. Like I always say, you guys, I am going through this process right along with you. This process of awakened awareness, coming into that, it's intense. It is not always pretty. It requires that we look very honestly at some aspects of ourselves, of our belief systems, some truths, right? Some painful truths that we hold within us that are really uncomfortable to look at. But once we look at them, once we allow ourselves to understand them, right? Like, why are you here? Why do I believe this? Why do I feel this? Why is this? Right? There's always a purpose. It's always serving a purpose. Once we understand that, we can then begin to unravel it and begin to let it go. We can begin to release ourselves and step into this next level of awakened awareness where we are then acting from that place. We are then manifesting and creating from that place, right? That's a very powerful place to be when we are awakened and we are aware. And then we have surrender on the bottom of the deck. This energy coming through so strongly, we have to surrender. We have to allow ourselves to let go, right? That was a big thing. Even though I wasn't able to do the reading yesterday for you guys, I knew that a lot of you were probably watching the one from the 28th. And honestly, I think that really encapsulated the energy of yesterday as well. That need to release, that need to let go, that need to surrender. What is not working anymore? Right? What has served its purpose? What have we become aware of through this internal exploration that we're ready to release or surrender because we don't want to hold on to it anymore? What are we holding on to that's keeping us stuck in this place of pain, in this place of stagnancy? And once we surrender that, once we release that, once we also allow spirit to come in, allow our guides, ask them to come in and assist us with this process. That's part of surrendering, is inviting our team into the situation, right? We can then rise above that and we can then really begin to see some changes happen as soon as we let go of the control, right? And we allow things to develop. We allow them to be what they are. We allow spirit in. It's like when we surrender, we allow spirit in. We make that space in order for changes to occur, right? It's like the energy of the 2 becoming the energy of the 3. That third energy coming in is what activates everything and creates all the possibilities. When it's just me and another person, or the 2 aspects of myself, right? Trying to make all the decisions and make everything happen, there's no room for more possibilities than what we can figure out. But when we surrender, when we relax, when we allow in that third energy, that spirit energy, then everything is possible. All possibilities are then possible. So that's the energy there. And then under that, we have crystal keys. And I am curious to see what this card says. So we are going to read that out of the book. It was just sitting there quietly, kind of calling to me. And let's see. This card is about deciphering wisdom codes. We may wonder how to access information regarding our spiritual growth as we navigate our everyday reality. This wisdom comes through inner paradoxes, when we are truly present, awed, in creative flow, or a state of surrender. It may come as riddles and in the most unlikely places. Zen Buddhism taps into this using koans, paradoxical statements the mind cannot fathom, to bypass traditional understanding and allow spiritual epiphany and a deeper knowledge of the soul to surface. Interesting. Key wisdom codes can come to us when we are triggered. They are accessible in those moments when everything becomes more emotional, dramatic, or painful than it needs to be. Here, when light shines on our shadow, right? Internal explorer, we are graced with significant insight, awakened awareness. Oh, I love how this ties in together. Into places we can grow and evolve from. Although it might take courage and a healthy dose of self-awareness to embrace the wisdom of those moments. It's amazing how much energy, freedom, and expansion comes as a result of deciphering these bubbles of information, tailored especially for us. Sometimes insight is so perfectly constructed within a scenario that it gets right into our most tender spots for the perfect healing. These are potent codes, as all personal power struggles and ego problems affect the bigger picture of how the world operates. Our shadows are unresolved wisdom codes. Avoidance makes them spiral out to aid in the construction of a world we don't actually want, both individually and collectively. When we see this information as the gift that it is, we can cultivate presence and begin to see between the lines of our inner workings. The world needs as much light as possible, so we do not have a repeat of what happened in Lemuria. Let's allow ourselves to see our shadows as an opportunity to bring more light into our being and heal the world from these dark foundations. And I'm just going to stop right there for a minute because this is so potent and so powerful. And so this is essentially what I'm taking away from this right now, is that these painful moments that really break us open actually open us up to interpretation of the higher wisdom that lies within our shadow, that lies within the unaware parts of ourselves, that lies sometimes within the higher mind, right? It opens up the higher mind. When we experience intense pain, when we experience these emotions that really break us open, it's like they push us out beyond the logical mind, beyond the lower mind, right? Even beyond the emotion, into a place deeper than that. And that is the place where all of this wisdom actually exists. You see all these bubbles coming down through her crown. So it's like the painful experiences that we have undergone as we have done this internal exploration, as these external events have triggered an even deeper exploration of the self and a more awakened awareness, and we have surrendered into that process, these crystal keys, these keys of knowledge, these codes, a lot of these light codes that we've been receiving throughout 2020 are being activated by the pain, by us being pushed out of our comfort zone, pushed out of our linear mind and into that higher mind, into that shadow, into these places that we have not been able to explore before. It's like that, it like breaks up that flow just enough to allow for the expansion. So that's really fascinating and really interesting. Really interesting energy. Wherever we've been seeing that tower energy, I'm feeling like from the tarot in our lives, is where this energy has been pushing to break through. So that's really fascinating. That brings a whole new level of appreciation for the struggles that we go through and their higher purpose. Be inspired to find the wisdom hidden in those times when you feel triggered. There is so much information within our raw and intense reactions that when you choose to be present with what is coming up and peel back the layers, great spiritual insight will unveil itself in a way tailored just for you. If we could all learn to see our triggers in the bigger picture, so much confrontation and upset would be lessened. Power struggles and fear would diminish, and we would see greater compassion across the planet. Perspective and misunderstanding would shift, and the way people want to be loved would be experienced without distortion. These are the seeds for peace on earth. I love that. That is really, really beautiful energy. Beautiful energy. And then under that we have our ancient future. So this is sort of reconnecting, this process where a lot of us have been reconnecting to past lives, to like really powerful past incarnations and the wisdom, right? It's like some of that wisdom that we're connecting to, say in our lifetimes in Lemuria, in Atlantis, in these different places, Egypt, right? Hold some of these keys, hold some of this knowledge. And as we're connecting with that, we're bringing in that knowledge, we're understanding. It's like we have to understand these past civilizations, especially these more esoteric past civilizations, right? because what happened there is the history that we are seeking not to repeat now. And so we really want to understand what happened so that we can do better this time around. And so a lot of us are having these memories come back from these past lifetimes. We are sort of like reintegrating aspects of ourselves that existed in these other timelines, in these other dimensions, these other experiences, these other lifetimes, so that we can bring forth the wisdom from that, because that wisdom is necessary now as we move into a place of advancement again, of this ascension process, and we're moving back into these capabilities, these understandings, like we don't want to make the same mistakes. And so a lot of that, it's like our ancient future, but bringing that future into the present and rewriting it in the now, which is really beautiful, really powerful energy. And then we have reclaim your energy coming through. So this is definitely something that is still strongly coming up that we are working on doing. And it's reclaiming our energy, not just from people and situations in this lifetime, but reclaiming our past energies too. Reclaiming our energies from these old timelines where things maybe didn't work out very well. Reclaiming that energy, transforming that energy, and using it in a beneficial way in this now moment, in this now experience. So I really like that as well, really reclaiming those ancient energies and using them in a beneficial manner as we move forward. And honestly, and then loving compassion under there and healing. So just a reminder for us to stay in that place of, as we are going through this healing process, we really want to stay in this place of loving compassion. Compassion for ourselves. This card is just so beautiful, especially. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for others, right? It's a lot of this is us being triggered, right? So it's people, it's situations that are triggering us to access this deeper knowledge and wisdom within us by sort of bringing these wounds to the surface, bringing this pain to the surface. So we want to be lovingly compassionate with whoever and whatever is triggering that process, because they are doing that for us to help us grow. We are doing that for them to help them grow. This doesn't mean don't take ownership for your actions or cause other people to be accountable for their own actions. It just means be also lovingly compassionate, and above all else, be lovingly compassionate with yourself. Be patient, be gentle, be tender with yourself during this healing process, because it is incredibly intense. It is incredibly, what's the word that I'm looking for? We are feeling kind of fragile, because of the intensity of what's being brought up for healing right now. And so we really want to bring that tenderness, that love, and that compassion into this process in every single facet of this process. All right. I guess we don't need to dip into the tarot. That was pretty, I think that reading took us exactly where we were meant to go today. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. If you liked this video, like this video, comment down below. Let me know how this video resonated, how today is going for you, how yesterday went for you guys. I love hearing from you guys and interacting with you guys. Yeah, I'm sorry I have been a little more absent than I typically am. In some ways, it's just my own process, this own cracking open that's happening for me as well, and sort of like balancing that need to care for myself with that need to connect with you guys, and just all of it, right? All the things. So, but I do deeply appreciate you so very much. There are links down below to donate if you so choose to do so. Absolutely not expected, but I do very much appreciate all of you that do. So I just want to say that as well, and give a shout out to all of you who have donated. It is very much appreciated. It does help the channel to continue to grow and me to continue to do everything that I do here. My email is in the description box below with the list of my services. Please reach out to me if you would like some assistance. We all learn, and we all grow, and we all evolve, and we all heal together. All right. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you soon.